Hello, everybody. Welcome to the YNTAAY Minis. I'm Chris Smith, and you may recall back in May I did a little mini about Twin Peaks and how it was coming to Showtime. And, well, it came, and, yes, there's so much to say about it, but I just don't know what to say because I watched this thing for 18 hours. And I'm not sure what it was about. Now, my friend Gio, who's behind the camera and loved Twin Peaks,
Hi.
he is not a fan of the new season.
I am so disappointed, David Lynch.
But, and I did not hate it as much as Gio.
Oh.
In fact,
Is there a word worse than hate? That's how I felt about Twin Peaks: The Return.
it's like acid in the veins. The amount of devastation, disappointment, and frustration. But I found moments of utter brilliance, and it was like a nice visit to a few of your friends. But you're like at a big party and a bunch of people that you don't know are dominating your time, and you're like, oh my God, oh, there's Shelley, hi, oh, and then here comes somebody else. That's what it was like. Imagine
Totally.
you're at the most fun party you couldn't wait to go to, and a bunch of strangers from South Dakota just kept you talking all night. Or not even talking. You might have just sat in a car staring ahead and watching the highway.
Totally.
Now this has spoilers, so if you haven't watched those 18 hours, I'm sure you're still around hour 3. So you might not want to watch. Well, click on it and let me have the view. Just put it on mute because I need the ratings. Much like Twin Peaks: The Return. Sorry, David Lynch. Okay.
No, you're not.
Okay, now one of the things
he should be sorry.
I was very excited about was Shelley and Bobby got married, apparently, during those 25 years we were away. And here they are now, Shelley and Bobby. He is now works in the sheriff's department. She still works at Norma's Double R Dine.
It's class.
And there's Norma. And it was a delight that they were all... she looks much better than this picture would let you believe.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I thought everybody looked pretty good. But we didn't get any time with Shelley and Bobby's romance. They had this awful daughter. Oh, my Lord. Oh, one of the best things, though, was the fact that Shelley had to fly off the side of a car, or she was flying. She was riding on the hood of the car. While and I won't play any scenes or any music because of copyright infringements. You know, I have that one strike against me. That's why I mute or put private the other Twin Peaks episode. But I'll unprivate it soon. But yes, that was so funny when she was trying to stop her druggy daughter from going to shoot up somebody's apartment door, Gersten Hayward's apartment door. And Shelley went flying off the hood of the car and her shoes went whoop. And I finally saw the kind of shoes she was wearing, Gio. You had pointed out.
Mm-hmm.
Look
she
at
had
those
red shoes.
Look at those red shoes.
She borrowed Audrey's from the original series, the pilot.
Now, Audrey, don't even get us started.
Mm-hmm.
Here's Audrey now. And...
smiling, which
smiling
she
until she got her script, which was probably like 5 pages of dialogue, if that, in the whole 18 hours. Now, Audrey Horne was one of the most important characters of the show. I think that a grown-up, bitter, divorced Audrey would have been so exciting, and her trying to get Agent Cooper back after he comes out of that place.
Or her running the Great Northern.
Her running the Great Northern, something. Why Ashley Judd got more airtime than Audrey Horne, and we still don't even know where Audrey is. She's in a white room somewhere. Such a shame. Okay, now this is a terrible picture you won't be able to see. Look at Laura Dern as as Diane. And she was one of the triumphs of this show.
I will give them that.
Yes, because we never got to see Diane before, so it was very exciting that it was Laura Dern. And they had described her in that Agent Cooper book that I held up the last time. They had described her as a cross between Mother Teresa and a cabaret singer. Well, I never got the Mother Teresa part out of this, but the cabaret singer I did. But we spent more time, instead of with people like Audrey or, anybody that we cared about, we spent more time with this teddy bear that was wearing a little, I don't know what, a space mask on its head, or this tree that would make a nice Christmas tree. It's the creation of the arm, or you can just call it the arm. I don't know what it was. It was in the Black Lodge, that tree thing, and it needed subtitles, and so disappointing.
It was supposed to replace the midget.
Yes, it was supposed to replace the little dancing dwarf.
Dwarf, yeah.
Now, we were delighted that Sarah Palmer was still in town, and why, at one point, she even went to a bar, ordered a Bloody Mary, and then took her face off, had this cheesy smiley thing underneath it, and ate a man's neck out. Now, I loved that, but did we follow up with that scene ever?
No.
Talk about it? There was no follow-up to anything. Now, another good thing I will commend them on is Robert Foster. Is it Robert Foster, right? As Sheriff Truman's brother, Frank Truman. Now, he was a true find, even though this actor has been around forever, and he is wonderful. But I thought he fit in quite nicely with the world, because he was very straightforward, and everybody was sort of kooky around him, and Lucy and Andy, but he just kept it together. And I sort of loved how everybody always was expecting to talk to the other Sheriff Truman, and he always had to explain that Harry is sick. So, which was an odd choice, because they could have just said Harry had died, but they apparently didn't want to lose him as a character. Now, another thing that we liked, the log lady was given her dues, because the actress, Catherine Coulson, is it? Yes. She was very ill when they were filming, so David Lynch did all of her scenes and actually was able to have the log lady pass away by the end of the show, and it was a lovely moment. And her log even apparently turned gold. We didn't see it, but she told.
Oh, really?
Yes, she said when she called Hawk that last time, she said, "My log is turning gold." And then we saw the outside of her house, and all the lights went out. So he got a lot of things right, but he got so much more wrong. But that's David Lynch, they say. Now, here's one of the things that I loved, and Gio didn't like it. The the black and white episode where we go into a nuclear bomb mushroom cloud for like 5-10 minutes for no reason. There was this most disturbing scene where these awful woodsmen floated down out of the sky, and here's one of them, and he went and basically killed everybody in this little town.
God alight.
Yeah, and he was like, "God alight, God alight, God alight," and people would be like, and then he'd squeeze their heads, and blood would be going everywhere. And then he got on the radio, and I wish I'd written down the poem that he wrote. But
something about a horse and a water, and
the
horse goes to water, the water to the horse, the horse to the water, the water to the horse.
So dumb.
Everybody who was listening to the radio was like, collapse. I don't know if they all died, but this one poor girl who was just trying to get a little sum from this boy that walked her home, she gave him a kiss. Then she passed out, and a giant moth with frog legs, came out of an egg and then got into her mouth. And for no reason. It was never explained.
Just like everything else.
Okay. Now, here's one of my favorite things ever. This lady, I copied this picture from the TV Guide, and TV Guide would do these online would do these funny little recaps of the episodes, and they would put little things on the pictures, and they put, but her emails, because isn't this just like what a Trump supporter would look like? No offense, viewers who are Trump supporters, but you know you do, you look like that. And I wrote down her dialogue. So she's in this marvelous scene. If you didn't see the show, she's in a car honking her horn, and Bobby Briggs goes and tells her to knock it off. And she says, "What are you doing? We're trying to get home. We're already late. We're late for dinner. It's way past 6:30. Why is this happening? I saw that gun go shooting out the window. Her uncle is joining us. She hasn't seen him in a very long while." I'm going to use this at auditions. "We're late. We've got miles to go. Please, we have to get home. She's sick." And then the little girl in the car rises up and is all like,
oh, it was so gross.
Was never explained. But that was the moment in this show, and I think that was around episode 12 or 11 or something. Wait, I have it written down. It was episode 11. Mm-hmm. And that was when I finally got what he was doing. I mean,
nothing.
Well, yes, but he could do whatever he wanted, and I was like, oh, there's a brilliance in this madness, I think. And the actress is Laura Kinney as Woman in Car. And you know what's funny? She played Hog Lady in 2016's Cabin Fever, which I'm assuming is a remake of Cabin Fever, that old movie from the olden days. Well, not too old, but Hog Lady and Log Lady. Isn't that fun? But in conclusion, at the very end, and I won't tell you everything, but Agent Cooper comes out of the Black Lodge, and he goes and changes time, or changes the past by keeping Laura from being killed, which anyone knows that if you even step on a butterfly's wing, it will mess up the time and space continuum. But he undid this complete murder of this hot mess prom queen all these years ago, and now we don't know where Agent Cooper is or this lady. But Kyle MacLachlan had an interesting thing to say about that last episode, and he said, well, and this I think was in Variety perhaps, and he said, well, good art asks questions. It doesn't always provide answers. I think that's what we're experiencing right now. Ha ha ha, laughs. It's not always the most comfortable or the most satisfying feeling. It's also asking us to consider what we've just seen. That's how I'm looking at it. So that made me feel better, and I sent it to Gio, and it didn't make him feel any better. But Twin Peaks, it was a good first draft, David Lynch. But I say we give it another pass and try and whittle it down to a good 90 minutes with the real characters. I don't know. I would personally like to see a fourth season, but others would not. But
no.
So watch those 18 hours of Twin Peaks at your own discretion, but you won't see Agent Cooper until very close to the end, and spoiler alert, and that's all I have to say about that. Goodbye, everyone. Oh.